Hi. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the landfills. I just walked down to the beach. We are in Longboat Key. Hey, Tony. I just at the last minute decided to take the children and I, because we had a pretty good, intense week with starting our schedule with homeschooling. And just randomly, we drove here to Longboat Key and we're staying in a beautiful, cute little, I think, 6 unit, old style motel, 1 bedroom on the ocean, which tomorrow I'm definitely going to make a video from the ocean. But it's just beautiful and it's owned by a lovely couple. And hey, Tony. So the beaches here, Tony, and anyone who's watching this, are beautifully sandy white and they don't hurt your feet at all. So nice and soft. And I just started thinking about how Battery Park City in Manhattan is a landfill. And I don't think a lot of people know that. And so when they were building the World Trade Center when I was a baby, the land that was utilized for the construction of this entire southwest area of Manhattan, with at least, just top of my memory, 16 or 18 buildings that are high rises. As I recall, over 20 stories tall, maybe up to 40 stories tall. But I'm just doing this from memory back when I lived in New York in the 90s and early 2000s and did real estate. And I mean, and it was, guess who okayed that entire transformation, and that project was the Rockefeller, Nelson Rockefeller. I just double checked on Wikipedia here. It says how, right here, I'm going to read it. The Battery Park City Authority was established in 1968, and Rockefeller that was the New York State Legislature. Rockefeller named Charles Ertstadt as the first chairman of the authority's board. He then served as the chief executive from 73 to 78. And it states that they did landfill material from construction of the World Trade Center and other buildings in lower Manhattan was used to add fill for the southern portion. Cellular cofferdams were constructed to retain the material. After removal of the piers, wooden piles, and overburden of silt, the northern portion, north of and including the marina, was filled with sand dredged from areas adjacent to Ambrose Channel and the Atlantic Ocean, as well as stone from the construction of Water Tunnel 3. By 1976, the landfill was completed. So they created land. You can look this up. It's Wikipedia, Battery Park City. And as I look at Florida and I see these beautiful beaches on the Gulf, and that's what got me thinking. I just walked down to the Gulf because these beautiful couple that run this place, they don't allow smoking, so we smoked a cigarette on the beach. I'm wondering about landfills, and I remember when I lived in Manhattan that in New Jersey, they made these beautiful beaches off the Jersey Shore, and they were also susceptible to hurricanes. And the owners of this hotel just told me, yeah, we just reopened because of hurricane, I don't know what. All of these things. I think this is the point of this. This is, again, a super crazy idea that they dredge up land, they add land, they create beaches, they create expensive real estate in coastal areas of the world. Like, we were driving in today to Anna Maria Island in this area, and I think it was Anna Maria Island, but you go through all these little beach towns. Swear to God, exact same design as when I was in southern France in 2024, where the community center was. It was almost like the same curve. And then on my left were lower buildings and houses and small hotels. Like, it's the same design that I have been seeing as I drive around Florida and as I've been traveling. But the first thing that came to mind was southern France just now in Anna Maria Island. I'm like, okay, that's coordination in city design. And it's getting more and more obvious to me, and I think this is probably obvious, but it's just this whole reset thing is really not too hard to identify when you start looking at architecture, you start looking at buildings, traveling and seeing these parallel constructs in different parts of the world. That means that there's obviously the brotherhood that is sharing ideas, or people really copying well but then selling to the city. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. Thank you for being here, Tony, and I hope that someone else wrote, not a bad thought. um, I'm so sorry. Mission Beach in California has to be man-made and not, yeah, well, think about Miami Beach. I lived there for a couple of years, and here's what I was thinking just now. I'm like, the so in Europe a lot of the beaches are rocky, and in other places too, right? And in Colombia, depending on where you are, there's rocky beaches. But then I'm like, okay, what if they make the rocks and they make that through the whole burnt tree thing? Okay, so that puts my head in another thing. But still, as I walk barefoot in my yard in Central Florida or wherever I can, I walk barefoot. I know that it's making me stronger. And I know that I'm forcing my feet to feel things on the ground that are good for my feet. And if you look into reflexology, that all kind of connects. And again, they do things to make us weak or to make money or to cover up what they did and then make us think that it's right. Anyway, it's interesting, right? But the main reason that I started thinking about it and why I wanted to come to the beach, I go any beach I learn something from, but this is the Gulf of Mexico. And I've been thinking there's something about Gulf and golf. So if you have anything to say about that, please leave me a message and tell me if you've thought about this idea between the Gulf, the Freemasons, golf, Kazarian Mafia kind of stuff. And then when I was showing my children where we were, and I looked at we were using the atlas, the physical map, and then we looked at the on the computer and then also on the GPS, and my GPS is older, but anyway, look at the Gulf. Look, it's super crazy. Was there land taken out of the Gulf to create something? I mean, if this technology exists to build Battery Park City in the 70s, and we know that there's these beautiful, incredible cathedrals that nobody can replicate now, then obviously they had technology that was available to move land, maybe from, I don't know, the bottom of the ocean, or was it the top of Florida they scraped off and Florida was bigger? And then, I mean, I just don't know, but there's sand companies in Florida. I'm really interested in anybody's comments on this, and thank you so much for being here, Tony, and hanging. Entertainment purposes only. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.